Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. You may be seated. Members of the class of 2020, members of our Board of Education, Dr. DeBray, faculty, family, and friends, welcome to the commencement exercises for the class of 2020 at Fort Zumwalt South High School. Graduates, we're here. We're celebrating this unique end of a chapter in your life, and it's great to see each of you. In spite of a classic ending to your senior year, you've made a solid imprint on South High School and are now a part of the most historic, possibly most memorable school year in our history. With us this morning are several distinguished guests. A few of our Board of Education members and central office administrators were unable to attend due to our change in schedule and conflicts they had. However, please join me in congratulating and recognizing these individuals as I introduce them. On our stage, our district superintendent, Dr. Bernie DeBray. Members of our school district's Board of Education, as they stand, please join me in recognizing our president, Mr. Mike Swearingen. Mr. Thomas Emmons. Mr. Mike McCormick. And Mr. Craig Moore. Additionally, please join me in recognizing another special guest who's with us this morning, serving the 103rd District from the Missouri House of Representatives, Representative John Wieman. John. Many of our teachers and staff members are helping this morning with the ceremony, behind the scenes with caps and gowns and escorting our row of students. South High teachers and staff members, would you please stand? Thank you. Administrators and support staff members at South High School make much of this ceremony possible. Please join me in recognizing our activities director, Mr. Ryan Rapp. Our 9th grade assistant principal, Mr. Joe Searles. Our 10th grade assistant principal, Dr. Tisa Garbarini. Our 11th grade assistant principal, Dr. Angie Holland. And yes, the one for you, our 12th grade assistant principal, Mrs. Stephanie Goldner. We also have two ladies who may be hiding on us right now who are really the ones behind a lot of this ceremony. Our 10th grade secretary, Miss Christina Berth. Mrs. Berth. And our 12th grade secretary, Mrs. Marnie Hager. It's also my honor to recognize our students wearing special medallions and cords. Graduates who've earned membership in the National Honor Society are wearing the gold National Honor Society collar. National Honor Society members, would you please stand? Graduates with an overall grade point average between 3.8 and 3.8 or 3.99 are designated as cum laude scholars and are wearing bronze medals. Cum laude scholars, would you please stand? Graduates with an overall grade point average between 4.0 and 4.19 are designated as magna cum laude scholars and are wearing silver medallions. Magna cum laude scholars, would you please stand? The following 37 graduates have earned a grade point average of 4.20 or higher and are designated as summa cum laude scholars. They're wearing gold medallions. As I read these graduates' names, graduates, would you please stand? And I ask their parents to stand. Please remain standing as I read everyone's name, and please hold your applause until we've read all 37 of these individuals. Neha Amin, daughter of Vasanta Amin and Vina Akchan. Marcus Anzaldua Campos, son of Ivan Anzaldua and Karina Campos. Kylie Avery, daughter of Kenneth and Julie Avery. Malik Badwan, son of Widad Badwan. Caitlin Biter, daughter of Dan Biter and Carrie Bowling. Colin Buss, son of Scott and Jennifer Buss. Morgan Carey, daughter of Jennifer Carey and Loretta Cox Carey. Amanda Kulian, daughter of Timothy and Michelle Kulian. Satya Datla, son of Narendra and Shri Datla. Luke Delahunty, son of Andy and Kim Delahunty. Kate Dickey, daughter of Stephen and Kristen Dickey. Gabriella Diebold, daughter of Jeff and Val Diebold. Sophia Downer, daughter of Raymond and Shannon Downer. Natalie Haynes, daughter of Kim and Christian Haynes. William He, son of Yan He and Bing Chen. Elizabeth Hines, daughter of Roger and Judy Hines. Danny Hudson, daughter of Kevin and Kimberly Hudson. Gretchen Hummel, daughter of John and Kristen Humble. Brandon Jones, son of Douglas Jones and April Jones. Josh Leah, son of Ferdinand and Lorna Leah. Senju Lee, son of He-Chol Lee and Nankyung Ha. Ashley Mampa, daughter of John and Heidi Mampa. Ashton Mandrell, daughter of Stanton and Bridget Mandrell. Sarah McGowan, daughter of Perry and Angela McGowan. Andrew Moore, son of Darren and Colleen Moore. Madison Moore, daughter of John and Kelly Moore. Nicholas Myers, son of Craig and Jacqueline Myers. Judah Nunn, son of Roderick and Ramona Nunn. Warren Rogers, son of Michael and Jennifer Rogers. Deep Sakrani, son of Deepak and Charisma Sakrani. Dea Sakrani, daughter of Deepak and Charisma Sakrani. Katie Spatansky, daughter of Bob and Jennifer Spatansky. Brady Stiff, son of Greg and Marcia Stiff. Lillian Voles, daughter of Joseph Voles and Brandy Kiefer. Teresa Voss, daughter of Brian and Tricia Voss. Benjamin Wilson, son of Russ and Angie Wilson. Stanley Yan, son of Ibo Yan and Ming Ying Sean. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating these outstanding students. Thank you. You may be seated. It's an honor again to welcome you to this ceremony and to welcome all of our guests who are joining us who couldn't be here today as we live stream this event. With some opening remarks as we continue this morning's ceremony, please join me in welcoming our district superintendent to the podium, Dr. Bernie DeBray.
Thank you, Dr. Keltner. Well, good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Board of Education, I'd like to welcome you to this 31st graduation ceremony for Hope High School. Hope High School. South High School. Hope High School was Friday night. Yesterday was East and North. Sorry, today is South. I'm getting myself confused. However, South High School opened in 1987. Their first graduating ceremony was 1990. I've been superintendent that entire time, so I've been to all 31 graduations, and this is by far the most unusual of any of those 31 graduation ceremonies. It's 2 months late. It's not on Memorial Day weekend. It's in the midst of a pandemic, and it's on a Sunday. So lots of unusual circumstances about this ceremony. I would like to congratulate our senior class. You've met all the requirements established by the Board of Education and the state of Missouri to graduate from a public high school in Missouri. The reason the Board of Education considers this so important, and the reason you should consider it as important, is this is your official ceremony. The Board of Education is the only ones that can graduate you in this school district. It's not me, it's not the principals, not your teachers, it's the Board of Education. They're excited to be here to see the culmination of 13 years of education in our school district. So we thank you for coming back 2 months late. We have over 90% of our graduates here, and that's exciting. We think that we've prepared you well to go on to your next stage of your life, and we wanted to be part of this with you. We're sorry that the school year didn't end the way you thought it would or we thought it would. It was circumstances beyond our control. But hopefully today's ceremony will help make up a little bit for what took place. I have just 2 items of recognition I want to bring to your attention, and then I'll get out of your way. First of all, we have some students that have signed up for the military service, and we always want to recognize them at the ceremony. So let me read your name and ask you to stand. First of all, Alexis Correa and Michael Shetzius for the United States Air Force. Caitlin Byrne, the U.S. Army. Sophia Downar for the United States Army National Guard. Kyle Mapes, the Marines. And Evan Lampy, the Navy. How about a nice hand for those students? We appreciate what you're planning to do for us. And since we missed the opportunity at Memorial Day weekend, we'd like to ask all of our veterans in the audience to please stand and be recognized for your service to our country and all of us. Please stand. Thank you for everything you've done for us. Every Veterans Day, we have our Veterans Day celebrations. We will make sure we don't forget you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the ceremony.
Thank you, Dr. DeBray. Ladies and gentlemen, before I share a last lesson with our graduates, I have a few words to say about this group of young men and women who are seated here this morning. Of the graduates in this class, 125 of you scored a 24 or better on the ACT. 23 of you scored a 31 or better to qualify for Missouri's Bright Flight Scholarship. One of you is a National Merit finalist. The majority of you have finalized plans for college or post-secondary education. 155 of you have earned a grade point average of 3.0 or better over 4 years. 68 of you garnered a grade point average of 4.0 or better. One of you is named as one of Missouri's top 100 academic scholars in Missouri. You've had numerous outstanding performances in virtually every athletic and co-curricular activity available at South High School, including district championships, state playoff appearances, individual and team state championships during your careers, and a girls' soccer team that by most accounts was possibly the best one in the state of Missouri this spring, and unfortunately, we didn't get to watch you play. Academically, during your 4 years, your class has helped solidify South High School's ranking as consistently being one of the highest performing schools in St. Charles County and in Missouri, and your leadership, along with the outstanding work of your teachers, was incredibly significant as U.S. News and World Report once again named South High School as one of the most challenging and best high schools in the United States, continuing as the most recognized high school in this category in the Fort Zumwalt School District. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating these young men and women this morning on their accomplishments. Okay, graduates, after today, some things change for you, and you're no stranger to change. As you entered the arena this morning, you noticed a rose placed on the last chair in memory of one of those changes, the loss of one of your classmates, Aiden Klintz. You've had many, many lessons during your time at South High School, and I have one final lesson for you today. Now, relax, I'm not going to step back with a lesson from my teaching days when I was in Mrs. Brady's position in a classroom, nor am I going to share coaching things when I was in Coach Friedel's position on a sideline in an outstanding varsity basketball game. This one's from me to you for right now. Besides, back when I was in their positions, I knew how to grow hair, and so you'd see a lot different picture of things than it is right now. Change. It all started with this thing. You see it? It's a fuse rated for 600 volts. You generally never see something like this one, but if you'll recall, Tuesday, August 20th, you walked into our building and every light in the place is flashing on and off, just strobing. This fuse was a change that made all the difference in the world. It went on the fritz and lost power to the building. The engineers and electricians today notice that, or will know that if you all of a sudden you're in a building this size and you see things flashing like that, it has something to do more than likely with the three-phase power supply entering the building. For the rest of you, just think it's a flux capacitor and you're trying to get back to 1985. This fuse actually was the tricky thing to find. We knew something was wrong. That was frustrating. We couldn't find the answer right then, but Dr. DeBray and I are in the bowels of South High School with a couple of electricians looking around, and finally those guys figured out that this is the culprit. This might have been what caused everything. If you remember, after that day, we then went to a first semester with some weird weather and the first time ever, no final exams. And then lo and behold, we wrap up a spring break with a global pandemic and we never returned to school. This may have caused everything. Matter of fact, I'm convinced if you cut it open inside there might be a vaccine for coronavirus in this thing. Yikes. That is one more frustrating thing. There are 3 lessons that I want you to remember as you step from this place this morning. Number 1, in life, it's perfectly normal to be frustrated, but don't live frightened. Secondly, be passionate, but don't pitch a fit. And thirdly, your intelligence goes up when you turn down the volume. Let me explain. There are things in life that frustrate each of us, but how you choose to react to those is a choice. I ask that you, in the middle of frustrations, don't live frightened. Learn how to recognize the things you're going through as just that. Things that you're going through. Just like our masks. They're for now, but they're not forever. Learn how to tackle those frustrations head on in a positive manner and refuse to live frightened. Secondly, be passionate, but don't pitch a fit. You've seen little preschool kids do that when they don't get their way, but trust me, adults at all levels and in all walks of life do the same thing. Passion's a great thing. We don't have to agree on everything, and you sure don't have to think like I do. You don't have to have identical beliefs for mine to be the champion of a cause. However, in life, you'll encounter some well-intentioned individuals who mistakenly believe that the way to accomplish anything is just to be as loud as possible until they get their way. Essentially, pitching a fit to make sure others see how great their opinion is. It's a self-serving approach, and especially in today's world of social media, instead of initiating a conversation, people try to rope as many others as they can find into a keyboard cowboy discourse, and they lull themselves into believing that's the way you get results. If you're not careful, even good people can get sucked into what is really just a digital echo chamber because it feels good and it gives you a false sense of productivity as you just electronically interact with a group of people who all seem to agree with you. As the future leaders of our community, of our state, and of our nation, start setting the example by demonstrating there's a better way to do something than by pitching a fit. Now, I'm not condemning social media. That's a good thing. It's kind of funny at times. You used to see Dr. Garbarini with TikTok. It's just kind of a neat deal. Social media can be a useful tool. However, be positive. Tackle a problem by initiating a conversation, even if you don't get the result you want right then or ever, or even if it takes a lot longer than you want it to. And trust me, you'll see some incredible results that you can't see by pitching a fit. Finally, your intelligence goes up when you turn down the volume. 2 of my favorite high school basketball coaches over the past 5 decades, wow, does that tell you something? Are our own Bill Friedel and Craig Kennedy. They're both contemporaries of each other, although Coach Kennedy's quite a bit older than Coach Friedel, and he's kind of stepped back a little bit from the game. They have had a number of contests against each other and have come out on either side of that game. But years ago, before you were born, I watched one of Coach Kennedy's teams pull out an exciting come-from-behind win in overtime. And things changed right after a timeout. After the game, I asked Coach Kennedy, I said, "Hey, what'd you say? What made the difference?" And he said, "In that last timeout, I told our guys, stop, take a breath, settle down. Here's what we're going to do." And he said, "I knew we had the win because I looked over at the other huddle, and their players are all animated, excited, chest bumping each other, anxious about the situation, and deciding they're going to just run, play on emotion." And he said, "I knew when they were that frustrated and they were that excited and just going to come out on the floor to play angry and out of emotion, I knew they weren't going to play very smart." Coach Kennedy's team played smarter because they settled down. In other words, your intelligence goes up when you turn down the volume. So please, remember this final lesson from me to you. You'll often be frustrated in life, but refuse to live in fear and be frightened. It's important, critically important, to be passionate, but don't pitch a fit. There's a better way. And finally, your intelligence goes up when you turn down the volume. As the individuals who will lead all of us, I'm looking forward to seeing you tackle life's challenges in this manner, and we'll all benefit from the positive results you'll create. That's your lesson. Now, as we continue with this ceremony, we've got an award to present, a couple of them. Each year, our faculty at Zumwalt South High School votes and selects a graduate to receive the Fort Zumwalt South High School Citizenship Award. This award goes to a student determined by our faculty members who best displays the qualities that we desire to see among all students, including strong academic achievement, outstanding relationships, and a passion for South High School and helping others. Our Citizenship Award recipient for the class of 2020 is an individual with a can-do attitude, a person who consistently demonstrates a positive approach to everything at South High School. This year's recipient has been involved in PPI, our Leadership League, A+, Educators Rising, and Empowering Young Men and Women. He's an all-conference athlete, an all-conference scholar athlete for our varsity football team, a state qualifier in wrestling, a magna cum laude graduate, and he can always be found in the middle of some good things happening at South High School. This fall, he heads south to Dr. DeBray's undergraduate alma mater, Southeast Missouri State University in Cape Girardeau, to begin a degree in education. I ask his parents, Brandon and Alana, to stand, and would you please join me in congratulating this young man as he makes his way to the platform as this year's Citizenship Award recipient, Mr. Brandon Vogt. Brandon, we should have alphabetized this in reverse order. You'd have gotten up here quicker. One of the most enjoyable things I've watched is our wrestling squad, and Brandon was a part of an outstanding group there as they've done some pretty exciting things with us. Each year, our faculty also votes and selects a graduate to receive the Fort Zumwalt South High School Leadership and Loyalty Award. Students nominated for this award must be heavily involved in many aspects of our school, leaving a positive mark on both people and activities at South High through their leadership. Our Leadership and Loyalty Award recipient for the class of 2020 is not only a strong leader, but is an individual that's pretty hard to rattle. In the middle of tough situations, this person is the quiet calm who stands out above the rest, and when he does that, others follow. This individual is a member of National Honor Society, Empowering Young Men and Women, A+, and our Leadership League. This individual is a magna cum laude scholar, while at the same time earning several athletic honors, including the St. Louis Post-Dispatch Scholar Athlete Award, was named as a member of the St. Charles County Amateur Sports Hall of Fame, was selected as the Gateway Athletic Conference Player of the Year, and earned Missouri All-State honors in basketball. Later this month, he'll continue his studies and basketball career at Quincy University. I ask his parents, John and Sheila, would you stand and would you please join me in congratulating this year's Leadership and Loyalty Award recipient as he makes his way to the platform, Mr. J.J. Schwepker. For those of you who have seen any of our athletic contests, that is possibly as slow as you'll ever watch Brandon and JJ move. Very dignified, very professional. Thank you, gentlemen. Proud of you. Let's give them one more round of applause. Our student address this morning will be brought to us by Mr. Marcus Anzaldúa Campos. Marcus is the son of Ivan Anzaldúa and Karina Campos. Would you please stand? During his time at South High School, Marcus has served as captain of our varsity soccer team, as an officer in student council, as a member of National Honor Society, PPI, empowering young men and women, and a member of Southside Servers. Marcus is his own worst critic, in a good way. He strives to get things right and tackles things with a plan. He and I have had a number of conversations during his high school experience, but one of the most exciting conversations I had with Marcus was this spring. During fourth quarter, when we were out of school, my phone rang, and it was Marcus, excitedly telling me, he said, "Dr. Keltner, I finally made up my mind." I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Well, you know, he'd turned down offers from Stanford, Duke, University of Chicago, and Baylor, just to name a few, and decided to accept the offer that he had to continue his education in Cambridge, Massachusetts at Harvard University." An overwhelming selection as our student speaker this morning. Please join me in welcoming this young man to the podium, Mr. Marcus Anzaldúa Campos.
Thank you once again, Dr. Keltner, Dr. Dubray, members of the Board of Education, administrators, faculty, family, friends, and most importantly, the FZS class of 2020. As you just heard, my name is Marcus Anzaldúa Campos, and I'm honored to be South High's class of 2020 graduation speaker. Now, before I start, let's give a quick round of applause to the class of 2020 and to all the dads, moms, brothers, sisters, grandparents, friends, and abuelos in the crowd. For the first 14 years of my life, I didn't know Fort Zumwalt South existed. I didn't know the place where I'd be making my lifelong friends, meeting some of the most spectacular teachers that changed the course of my life, and creating the most extraordinary memories. When I arrived at South my sophomore year, I had no idea how impactful these next years would be for me. I had no idea how much I would learn from my friends and my teachers. I had no idea how much I would learn from the lowest of the lows to the highest of the highs. I had no idea how much I would reminisce about the memories I've accumulated across my years at South. I had no idea. And on a random Friday in March, we woke up to the same annoying alarm. We walked and sat down in our same classes, and at the end of the day, the same monotone bell rang, and unknowingly, we took our final steps as high schoolers. No big hurrah, no grand celebration, no tears shed or hugs given. Nothing. We had no idea. Would you have done that day differently, knowing it was your last? Would you have appreciated your teachers just a little bit more? Would you have laughed a little harder at your friends' jokes, even though they weren't that funny? What would you have done differently? It's hard thinking about it, no? I feel like it's easier looking to the future than dwelling in the past. Wow, it's hard. Like Andy Bernard, a character from one of the greatest cinematic masterpieces in the history of television, The Office, once said, "I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them." And as we slowly started learning across the years together, and now that we're finally here together, about to embark into the next phases of our lives, I've determined some universal truths. Everything comes to an end. One day you will retire from your job. One day some of you will wear your military uniform for the very last time. One day you will see your kids crossing a stage just like this, and seeing that your little kid is no longer a little kid. We never know what days will be our last, and every moment between our first and our last is one worth being cherished. Don't text a person you love them. Call them. Hug your parents a little tighter before you leave the house. When you cry, cry with everything you have. And when you laugh with your friends, laugh until your stomachs hurt. Never regret savoring the moments of life, assuming there will be more to come. We don't have all the time in the world. We simply don't. So appreciate every single moment you have here. I know it'll be weird hearing this from me, but sometimes it's worth closing the books to spend time with your friends and family. Trust me, your homework will be there when you get back. Appreciate the friends from your past, present, and the ones to come. Equally appreciate your enemies and the haters you've had along the way. They've helped you persevere to your goals despite their nagging, insults, and criticism. Like my dad always says, if you hear the dogs barking, you're headed in the right direction. Lastly, your future is written in sand, and every action you make is another ocean wave changing your future. We're a generation of action and change. We live in a time of conflict. We came into the world during times of terrorism. We've seen war and shootings. We've seen economic recessions and bombings. We've seen magnitude 9 earthquakes and category 5 hurricanes. We know disease all too well. Yet despite all these events in the world, we continue to persevere. We continue to dream and hope for the future, even if it looks foggy for the time being. And I ask every single one of you to keep dreaming and hoping for the future. Dream of a future where you're truly happy and thriving from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. Give your aspirations a foundation. Wake up early, work hard and make mistakes. Don't simply survive life, but live life. And each person you talk to is a life you can change. And even though it might not be the entire world you're changing, but for that one person, you're changing their entire world. And I see in front of me at least 324 people who have changed my life. Class of 2020. We've had some of the wildest years known to high schoolers. These past years have been some of the most life-changing for us as a class, and it truly has been a pleasure sharing these experiences with all of you. So for Zumwalt South's class of 2020, the best class to ever walk through the halls of South, all I can say is thank you and congratulations. It's time to celebrate.
Thank you, Marcus. Our faculty address this morning will be brought to us by Mr. Dustin Shaw. Mr. Shaw grew up in St. Louis County. He holds bachelor's and master's degrees from Truman State University. He's taught both mathematics and social studies in 3 area school districts before arriving to South High School 4 years ago to teach social studies. He's a hit with our students. An entertaining yet firm classroom teacher, and students regularly talk about having a shawsome day in his class. His wife Melissa and their son Walker and family members are here to join us this morning, and we're glad you guys are part of this ceremony as well. Selected by our senior class, please join me in welcoming our faculty speaker this morning, Mr. Dustin Shaw.
Thank you, Dr. Keltner, Dr. Dubray, members of the board, family and friends, and a very special thank you to the class of 2020. I truly wouldn't be here without you. You see, ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2020 was my very first class at South High, and I assure you, 4 years ago, I was not the teacher I am today. The mere fact that I'm standing in front of you today shows the kind, compassionate, and most of all, forgiving nature of this wonderful group of young men and women. Class of 2020, we've had a roller coaster of a high school career. We've had a lot of laughs, shed a lot of tears, and learned a ton along the way. And if you'll indulge me, I think we have time for just one more lesson. 2020 started off with a bang for my family. On January 1st, my wife, Melissa, and I welcomed our first child, Walker Charles Shaw, into this world. We were very lucky. Everything went well. Mom and baby were and still are healthy and happy as can be. I can't say the same for the year 2020, though. History teachers around the world are going to have to create entire classes just to make sense of the first 7 months of the year. So far, we've seen the first presidential impeachment trial in over 20 years, a global pandemic, life under quarantine, escalating racial tensions, murder hornets, and worst of all, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stepped down from their duties in the British royal family. I'm gonna need a minute, I'm sorry. Through all of this, though, the Shaws stayed lucky. I initially took off 2 weeks to be with Melissa and Walker as we waded through sleepless nights, 1 million feedings a day, and what can only be classified as toxic waste seeping out of a tiny human. I felt guilty going back to work, but little did I know that I wouldn't have to be away from my family for long. Quarantine hit, Melissa was furloughed from her job, Zumwalt started virtual learning, and all of a sudden, we have spent almost 7 months straight with Walker. Now, why do I tell you that? I imagine that many of you felt robbed of your senior year. The sacrifices we have made as a people have helped to keep the virus in check, at the cost of pretty much every social gathering you can imagine. I wanted you to know how lucky my family has been, so that you, regardless of your experience, you would know that at least one family has been positively impacted by the craziness that is 2020. While I was navigating the poopy waters of new parenthood, I had a lot of time to think about what I wanted to say to you today. Randomly, I thought it would be cool if I gave this speech as lessons to my son, or something of that nature. But that didn't make any sense. Walker isn't graduating today. You are. Then I got to thinking. Last year, in one of my government classes, I said something about my kids, referring to my students. One of my students responded, "Mr. Shaw, you don't have any kids." And I said, "Actually, I have 140 kids, and unfortunately, they're all teenagers." So with that in mind, I'd like to present you with my letter to my other kids on their graduation day. My dear children, you made it. I'm so proud of you. I know I've thrown a lot at you over the last 4 years, but now, as you stand on the precipice of the next chapter of your lives, I hope you feel it was worth it. I'm sure your heads are swimming right now, thinking about what the future has in store for you. I know that you can achieve your goals if you set your mind to them. There is one goal, though, that is more important than all the rest. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to be happy. Unfortunately, many Americans don't value happiness as much as they should, and it shows. As a society, we don't ever focus on happiness. Personally, I blame Thomas Jefferson. On July 4th, 1776, many of the founding fathers of our nation signed their name to the Declaration of Independence. America was Taylor Swift, and England was every boy unfortunate enough to break her heart. Thomas Jefferson had penned the most famous breakup letter in history. In it, he wrote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Thomas Jefferson got it wrong. Now, don't get me wrong. All people are definitely created equal. They have rights that cannot, or at least should not, be taken away, among those being life and liberty. Jefferson, though, has ruined what Americans have believed about happiness for the last 244 years. Happiness is not something that you pursue or something that you find. Happiness is something that you cultivate. And I won't lie to you, cultivating your own happiness will be the hardest thing you'll ever do. I wish I could tell you that it was easy. The reality, however, is this world can be a cruel and unforgiving place. But I don't have to tell you that. You guys have grown up in the harsh reality of YouTube comment sections. Why are these people so unhappy that they must hurl insults from behind a digital mask? The real-life equivalents of angry YouTube commenters will be all around you in the future. They have given up on happiness and make it their life's work to bring you down to their level. Negativity truly is the enemy of happiness. Now I know what you're thinking. Mr. Shaw, this sounds impossible. How am I supposed to cultivate my own happiness under these conditions? I'm glad you asked. While this is certainly not a scholarly paper, I'll tell you what has worked for me. Number one, always be positive. This one won't surprise you if you've been in my class, seen me in the hallways, or been around me for 5 seconds. Being positive is a choice, but it is one that pays dividends for you and those around you. You see, positivity is infectious. You might not believe me because many of you are angry or skeptical teenagers, but I assure you it's true. People feed off each other's moods. If you are positive, that will help others around you feel that way as well. Number two, surround yourself with good people. Ladies and gentlemen, life is far too short to spend your free time with people you don't like. I have been very fortunate in my life to have a wonderful family. Not everyone is so lucky. I have also met a wonderful woman to spend the rest of my life with, and Walker is an absolute delight. Seriously, you should meet him. The kid acts like he gets paid to smile. Just as important as family, however, are your friends. I hope you have friends who are different from you, that challenge you, that support you always, and most of all, love you unconditionally. Good friends make life much easier. You can't choose your family, but you can definitely choose your friends. Choose wisely. On a side note, shout out to Dr. Keltner for hiring some of the best friends a guy could ask for. Last but not least, number three, do what you love. Full disclosure, this one makes the other two so much easier. It is almost impossible to be happy if you don't love what you do. For the last 70 years, the mark of success was going to college, getting a high-paying job, nice house, nice cars. You get the picture. While Americans have been measuring success by a dollar amount, divorce, suicide rates, and murder rates have all increased. Why? Because success without happiness is no success at all. Write that down. The best way to be successful in today's world is by finding what you love and making it your life's work. I could have done a lot of things with my life, but I chose to be a teacher because I love it. I love helping you to become the best versions of yourselves. What you should now understand is that teaching helps me to become the best version of myself. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all race out of the building and celebrate to go boldly into the next chapter of your lives, I hope that you remember one final takeaway. Happiness is the only goal in life that truly matters. Once you have built it, you can begin the wonderful process of spreading joy throughout this crazy world. Class of 2020, I am so proud of you, and I cannot wait to see how you cultivate your own happiness. It has truly been a great joy watching you grow up. I'd like to leave you today with the words of one of my favorite teachers of all time, Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World. When asked if he had anything left to teach his lifelong students as they were leaving for the last time, he said, "Believe in yourselves. Dream, try, do good." I love you all. Class dismissed.
Mr. Shaw, thank you very much. Our Board of Education will assist me as we continue with our ceremony. Mr. Swearingen, on behalf of the faculty and administration at Fort Zumwalt South High School, I hereby attest that these individuals have met the graduation requirements of the Fort Zumwalt School District's Board of Education and the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. It is an honor for me, as principal of Fort Zumwalt South High School, to present to you the class of 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, please refrain from yelling or applauding during the awarding of diplomas so that all the names of the graduates can be heard. The calling of names will be done by Mr. Andy Delahanty, science teacher at South High School, and Mrs. Lori Morrison, English language arts teacher at South High School. Members of the class of 2020, please prepare to receive your diplomas.
Kyle Joseph Allen. Chloe Elizabeth Allman. Neha Vasanta Amin, summa cum laude. Cameron Anthony Anderson. Marcus Ivan Anzaldua Campos, summa cum laude. Alphonse Joseph Anzalone. Grace Elizabeth Asher. Travis James Evan Evely Frekovic. Kylie Ann Avery, summa cum laude. Malik Nasser Badwan, summa cum laude. Lynn Bond. Alex James Barnes. Evan Ray Barton. Alexis Paige Bates. Chase Alexander Bates. Grace Mackenzie Badiger, magna cum laude. Travis Michael Becker. Paige Rose Beckham. Caitlin Nicole Biter, summa cum laude. Brooke Benedict, magna cum laude. Cameron Lee Best. Olivia Renee Blackshear, in absentia. Daniel James Bloomfield. Evan Michael Braggy. Lauren Elizabeth Brock, cum laude. Chase Benjamin Brown. Naya Nicole Brown, magna cum laude. Jared Andrew Bueller, magna cum laude. Devin Michael Bergdorf, in absentia. Anthony Logan Burrows, in absentia. Colin Scott Buss, summa cum laude. Jonathan Brian Buss, magna cum laude. Caitlin Rose Byrne, in absentia. Abigail Eileen Kafaza, magna cum laude. Mackenzie Paige Campbell. Caesar Adrian Cano Beltran. Megan Ashley Canup. Morgan Mazo Carey, summa cum laude. Ian Alexi Carl. Samantha Nicole Carranza. Carter Jacob Casson. Kelly Elizabeth Kavanaugh, magna cum laude. Juliana Marie Cavey, in absentia. Chandler Joseph Christensen, in absentia. Daniel Joseph Crum, in absentia. Ayana Lynette Clark. Xavier Brian Clark. Brennan George Cornell. Alexis Paige Correa, in absentia. Mariah Alexis Crane. Pavel Joseph Crandall. Alana Rose Crumley, magna cum laude. Amanda Marine Cullion, summa cum laude. Alexis Marie Currigan. Brandon Adam Daniels. Tiara Mae Daniels, magna cum laude. Satya Sai Datla, summa cum laude. Charles Raymond Vu Devanzo. Cassidy Jacqueline Davis. Seth Michael Davis. Corbin Lawrence Day. Nicholas John Day. Luke Andrew Delahanty, summa cum laude. Colby Michael Dutchmendy. Brianna Renee Dick. Garrett Ryan Dickey. Jenna Elizabeth Dickey, magna cum laude. Kate Allison Dickey, summa cum laude. Gabriella Rose Diebold, summa cum laude. Trenton James Dedeker. Abigail Paige Dodson. Evan Charles Dolache, in absentia. Sophia Ray Downer, summa cum laude. Delaney Lynn Doyle, magna cum laude, in absentia. Selena Yvette Draper. Spencer Gavin Dunacek. Devin Michael Dunn. Ava Grace Duran, magna cum laude. Dylan Joseph Elkins, in absentia, cum laude. Jaden Grace Feeler, magna cum laude. Cooper Michael Ferris. Sean Allen Finn. Casey Noel Fisher. Maureen Catherine Flaherty. Priscilla Jacqueline Fuentes. Noah Lambert Gainey, in absentia. Tiffany Garcia. Antonio Catalan Gibaltera. Jillian Robin Getz. Austin Wayne Gomez, magna cum laude. Lily Grace Goodman, cum laude. Jack Ryan Grant. Ashley Lane Green, magna cum laude. Jordan Brianna Nicole Green. Lonnie Grimes. Bryce Robert Groff. Andrew Joseph Hazley, cum laude. Tyler Drew Hale, magna cum laude. Nolan Matthew Hallam. Nathan Gregory Hannebrink, in absentia. Aaron Michelle Harrelson, cum laude. Grant Nathaniel Harris. Sevian Lawrence Hastings. Hannah Elizabeth Hawkins. Hannah Marie Lopez Hawkins. Garrett Timothy Hayden. Natalie Ray Haynes, summa cum laude. Sydney Marie Haney. William Shenyang He, summa cum laude, in absentia. Jennifer Lorelei Heald. Olivia Taylor Healy. Ashley Elizabeth Heck. Corey William Heidert. Jennifer Lynn Hurling. Alyssa Marie Herman. Adam August Herman. Logan Scott Hester. Lainey Hope Hines. Deja Anye Hines. Elizabeth Margaret Hines, summa cum laude. Mariah Elizabeth Hohenschel. Ethan Joseph Holmes. Madeline Hong, in absentia. Nicholas Dean Hoven, magna cum laude. Melanie Jean Huddleston. Danny Paige Hudson, summa cum laude. Macy Kathleen Hughes. Gretchen Ann Hummel, summa cum laude. Ethan Christner Hunn. Andrew Christopher Hunter. Elijah James Hutchison. Alyssa Kate Inchiastro. Andrew Allen Jackson. Ashley Renee Jackson. Hunter Wallace Jackson. Emily Elizabeth Jaggy. Morgan Dawn James, cum laude. Lindsay Nicole Jaycox. Samuel Allen Jeffries. Max Benjamin Jelinek. Emma Catherine Johns. Samuel James Johns. Christopher Thomas Johnson. Jaden Joseph Johnson. Kennedy Lee Johnson. Sanjay Unity Johnson. Alexander James Johnston, in absentia. Brandon Douglas Jones, summa cum laude. Alex Tyler Jordan, in absentia. Oliver Alberto Jurado, in absentia. Bryce Andrew Keibel. Ben Goyi Katamba. Madison Nicole Kaufman. Dylan Kyle Keith. Amy Elizabeth Marie Cown. Gabriel Grant Killo. Brendan Alexander Kaiser. Allison Elizabeth Coring. Braden Lee Korn. Ariana Danae Courtcamp, in absentia.
Brooklyn Elizabeth Lamoureux. Evan Robert Lampy, in absentia. Connor Lee Landwehr, magna cum laude. Kennedy Taylor Lane, in absentia. Joshua Christopher Leah, summa cum laude. Marielle Grace Lane. Daniel Hong Lee. Melinda Hong Lee. Gunnar William Leeser. Sungju Lee, summa cum laude. Joseph William Lenore III, in absentia. Miranda Brooke Less, cum laude. Jacqueline Sue Lewis. Jillian Patricia Lewis. Naomi Paige Lewis. Devin Charles Livingstone. Rachel Aaron Locke. Michaela Angelina Lowry, in absentia. Kaylin Nashay Macklin. Ashley Christine Mampa, summa cum laude. Ashton Victoria Mandrell, summa cum laude. Blake Patrick Mann. Lily Ashleen Mannion, magna cum laude. Kyle Nicholas Mapes. Carly Ray Martin. Evan John Martine. Landon Edward Martin. Sophia Lynn Matthews, magna cum laude. Peyton Lynn Mattingly, cum laude. Cameron Thomas Mayo. Alyssa Renee McGillicuddy. Sarah Catherine Grace McGowan, in absentia. Melissa Ann McGathlin. Macy Marie Mesplay. Olivia Grace Muir. Taylor Lynn Milbert. Samuel Raymond Mitchell. Kylie Josephine Nicolette. Allison Steins Modaf. Grant Thomas Modica. Gabriel Joseph Monty, Elena Jean Monteleone, Andrew Michael Moore, summa cum laude, Madison Catherine Moore, summa cum laude, Desiree Sierra Michelle Morris, Nicholas Lyndon Morrison, Haley Kimberly Kylene Morse, Catherine Renee Moss, cum laude, Angelina Mullen, Tucker Brian Musgrove, Nicholas Craig Myers, summa cum laude, Alexis Brianne Nadler, Shelby Lynn Newman, Sun Min Win, Vivian Tran Win, there's no, Austin Matthew Nichols, Benjamin Braden Nunez, Roderick Judah Nunn, summa cum laude, Patrick William O'Brien, Samantha Danielle O'Toole, Mia Marie Orlando, Carla Yahada Orozco Valenzuela, Justine Ellen Oti, cum laude, Garrett John Otto, magna cum laude, in absentia, Lacey Marie Pagano, Annika Renee Paliaka Cargo, Jacob Lucas Paul, in absentia, Andrew Jonathan Pawlowski, in absentia, Samantha K. Peters, cum laude, Evan Scott Peterson, Ethan Joseph Pfaff, Harrison Charles Flegging, Aiden Kwok Pham, Shelby R. Pickerel, Jenna Claire Plagenberg, Alyssa Grace Polian, cum laude. Jordan Ryan Porter. Zachary Christopher Powell, in absentia. Ryan Patrick Power, in absentia. Nathan Christopher Prater, cum laude. Nathan Lee Pulling. Annabelle K. Pursley. Mia Nicole Rapay. Sarah Amalia Raptakis. Kaylin Marie Rawi. Joseph Martin Raymond, in absentia. Abigail Virginia Regenstein. Caitlin Marie Reynolds. Caleb Roland Reynolds, in absentia. Brennan Reed Roberts. Warren Michael Rogers, summa cum laude. Caleb Hio Rouse. Harmony Ashlyn Rowland. Kirkland Christopher Rowland. Mary Cecilia Rumbo. Alan Joshua Rush. Kyle Jeffrey Ryback, in absentia. Noah Kenneth Sadler, in absentia. Madison Taylor Sager. Deepak Sakrani, summa cum laude. Dia Deepak Sakrani, summa cum laude. Aaron Lee Samuelman, magna cum laude, in absentia. Brett Lucas Sandler. Lucinda Grace Sapp. Matthew Wayne Sapp. Trevor Michael Sarquist. Carly Ann Scarpace. Lydia Parker Shack, magna cum laude. Jaden Melissa Shalerith, magna cum laude. Paxton Claire Schmitz. George John Schreiber, cum laude. Jeffrey Daniel Schultz. Michael Ray Schutzius. John Michael Schwepker, magna cum laude. Kaya Simone Scott. Madison Elizabeth Siders, cum laude. Samuel Hunt Schinnebarger. Madison Elizabeth Shine Burton. Gabriel Jordan Schultz in absentia. Gregory Wyatt Symington. Avery Isabel Singer. Caitlin Elizabeth Skeeters. Kieran Jan Snowden. Abigail Elizabeth Samoji. Christopher Wyatt Sorensen. Katie Jane Spitansky, summa cum laude. Reed William Steinmeier in absentia. Molly Ann Stevens. Erica Elise Stewart, cum laude. Grace Janine Stewart. Jesse Dean Steyer. Brady Merrick Stiff, summa cum laude. Harrison J. Story. Ava Grace Tankersley in absentia. Austin Andrew Taylor in absentia. Clarissa Lynn Thorne in absentia. Alexander John Thornhill, magna cum laude. Audrey Pearl Trax in absentia. Jessica Brianne Tuggle, magna cum laude. Dalton Michael Tulk in absentia. Shane Allen James Utley. Emily Ruth Vandiver, magna cum laude, in absentia. Iris Raina Vandiver Meyer. Lucas Keenan Vandiver Meyer, in absentia. Brandon Hunter Veman. Jordan Christina Virgil. Brandon David Vogt, magna cum laude. Lillian Harper Voles, summa cum laude. Teresa Ann Voss, summa cum laude. Alexis Lorraine Walker. Bethany Peyton Wallace. Macy Lynn Wallace. Mary Wang, in absentia. Zachary Aaron West, magna cum laude. Summer Ray Westmoreland. Courtney Lynn White. Devin Michael Whittington in absentia. Clayton John Weeman. Brandon William Weetop. Megan Renee Williams. Benjamin Foster Wilson, summa cum laude. Dane Patrick Wilson, magna cum laude. Robin Jashay Wilson in absentia. Noah James Wong, magna cum laude. Gabrielle Marie Woods, magna cum laude in absentia. Adam Mason Wright. Joseph Paul Wynn. Zechariah Eliza Yancey. Stanley Yang, summa cum laude in absentia. Nicholas Scott Yates. Caden Adam Yost. Alyssa Monet Zackow.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our graduates. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're close to the end of things, and after we finish, the Family Arena has asked that you remain seated. Our graduates will be dismissed by our faculty row by row starting at the end. Following that, officials from the Family Arena will dismiss you by section, so remain seated after we're finished. Our closing comments this morning will be brought to us by Miss Macy Wallace. Macy is the daughter of Bob and Jody Wallace. Bob and Jody, would you please stand? During her time at South High School, Macy has been a PPI mentor, a part of Southside Servers, a member of our Leadership League, a senior class officer, and if you've been around any of our athletic activities, you've seen Macy there and in the thick of things as the manager of our football and basketball teams. This fall, she'll begin her studies at University of Central Missouri, majoring in agricultural business management and serving as a student assistant with the University of Central Missouri football team. As you meet her, you'll quickly see how her positivity has affected everyone at South High School. Please join me in welcoming this engaging young lady to the podium to wrap up our ceremony. Miss Macy Wallace.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you once again, Dr. Keltner, Dr. DeBray, the Board of Education, administrators, faculty, family, friends, and fellow graduates. Now I know I'm the only person standing between you and those doors back there, so I'll try to make this quick. Graduates, look around at everyone sitting next to you. I'm sure you see a person or two who you remember meeting in kindergarten because most of us have been together for the last 12 years. However, the majority of us met at South Middle, and I'm sure you remember the day that we sat in the cafeteria and learned about what high school would be like. They told us it would go by fast, and they told us to make the most of the next 4 years. But they never prepared us for how our senior year would end. I know, on Friday, March 6th, None of you expected to walk out of South High for the last time. I know we didn't get to experience our senior field trip, nor did we get the experience of what it is like to walk through the halls of our elementary schools, wearing your cap and gown, looking at all the little kids who wanted to be just like you. And unfortunately, we did not get to experience a senior prom. But rather than dwelling on the things we cannot change, I want to remind you of some of the things our class experienced together over the last 4 years. Starting in 2016, freshman year. We went to our first homecoming, watched as our football team scored a game-winning field goal with no time left in the playoffs, and later that year, our varsity dance team won state. Though nervous as sophomores, we piled out to the bleachers to watch the solar eclipse, and we witnessed our boys' varsity basketball team win sectionals. Junior year, our soccer team brought home a state title. We went to our first prom. Many of us developed first-stage senioritis, and we started thinking about the future. Then came our year, senior year. The year we stood at the front of the dog pound cheering on our football team. We won the Powder Puff game and the Spirit Stick. Our Bulldog Brigade took grand champion at the Park Hill Rebel Invitational, and for our seniors in the marching band, that was their 4th straight win. Our cheer team qualified for state, our dance team took 8th at nationals, and our boys basketball team were conference champions. It was the year of no finals, and 4th quarter classes were held through the screen of our computers. Although we experienced these events collectively, each and every one of you had a very unique high school experience. And as senior class officers, we asked what your favorite memories were. And many of you responded with winning the Spirit Stick, Friday Night Lights, or school dances. But the individual responses were winning state in soccer, Modulation Z, qualifying for the National FBLA Conference, marching band, winning the conference championship on senior night against Washington, celebrating with my teammates in the locker room after winning basketball games, any class with Miss Horton, being involved with the crew, twirling at school sporting events, junior prom, theater shows, and winning districts. Now, to some of you in the crowd, I'm sure many of these things seem insignificant. But to the graduates sitting before me, they're what made the last 4 years something special. Looking back on our memories, I'd say the class of 2020 made the most of our high school experience. As Tony Stark once said, "It's not about what we lost, but it's about how much we have left." And yes, I just quoted a fictional superhero. Although this was not the ending we had hoped for or deserved, it has helped build our character. And in fact, this is not an ending at all, but at the beginning. Class of 2020, it is time to take on the world, find our passions, and pursue them. Graduates, please rise and refrain from throwing your caps. Join me as we move our tassels from right to left, signifying our graduation. Graduates, including those not able to be here with us today, wherever life takes you, I wish every single one of you the very best. Once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog. Thank you.